Welcome everybody to the last video of Transformers reviews of the decade. Come on, I wasn't fooling you. You know I'm going to be making more videos. But instead of doing like an in-depth proper review as the last video of this year, I actually just wanted to do a quick little recap on some stuff. Basically just three things. We will take a look at Optimus in a Cybertronian trailer. We're going to take a look at a specific feature that you need to be aware of if you have a Faceless shield. And we'll be looking at a recent character that actually appeared in Cyberverse that I never thought I would see. So this is going to be raw and uncut. And we'll jump right into looking at Optimus's Cybertronian trailer. Now, you guys will obviously recognize that this is just kind of combining Optimus with the two weaponizers in vehicle mode, which is something that we don't often see, if at all. So the funny thing is I actually like using Six Guns weapon ports to make them look more like the official smokestacks, as opposed to these ones that are almost invisible in robot mode, which I'm not too thrilled about. So one of the other things that I want to show you is this whole kind of setup feels like a cross between the Generation 1 version of Optimus, Ultra Magnus, and with like a touch of Onslaught for good measure. Now the funny thing about it is you'll notice the arms down here. They're not actually perfectly level. They actually have to be at an angle, and the reason for that is on Optimus's legs, the port that you can plug the peg into is higher than the actual peg that comes out of Cog's actual tread piece back here. So it's actually at an angle, but again, that was the only way to really make it work. Now the other kind of funny thing about this is while I do like Optimus's gun, I need to kind of remove it to show you guys. What this kind of reminded me of is, if this is supposed to be like the trailer, it kind of reminded me of that little repair robot in the Generation 1 Optimus Prime's trailer, because he had like two missiles on him and he had like the arms that came off. And, if you had different weaponizers, you might be able to make a somewhat approximation of that if you did something kind of like this. So overall, it's nothing too fantastic. I just wanted to show you guys what I kind of came up with, because I wanted to see, if we had the ability to make a trailer. And that's the wonderful thing about this whole Siege thing is that it gives you the ability to do this. And I'm really hoping that Earthrise kind of lives up to that, because this is, Siege really is kind of a great opening act, as it were. And I just really hope that, like I said, not to repeat myself, but I hope Earthrise can at least live up to that legacy, because this whole, it kind of feels like a golden age of the franchise as far as everything is happening. Now, quickly moving on to Apeface's shield. Now, if you saw my review, I'm not a big fan of this, but whenever he was in jet mode, I tried removing this. Well, to my horror, because it's a very snug fit where this plug goes into, it actually snapped off. And if you can kind of see, you can see where it kind of broke, almost where the colors are a sharp contrast. Now, the one thing about this peg is that it is actually hollow in the center. So basically, because it didn't, the peg goes all the way up into the shield where it's molded. And so that hollowness went all the way up in there. So what I was able to do was fill both parts of that with super glue and put a nail in there, and then kind of fill in the crack also with some super glue. And now it's more structurally sound than it possibly was before. So basically, if you guys have that happen, that's an option you can use to repair it. And if you haven't had that unfortunate thing, just be wary that it can happen. So just take your time getting this out of his port whenever it's being utilized in jet mode. Now, the last thing that I mentioned was a character that had appeared in Cyberverse, and as of the time of this video, the character in a sort of way appeared was, if you saw that RC and Grimlock encountered a group of, it wasn't so much a transformer as it was a bunch of wild animals, and they were called air hammers. Well, that is actually homaging this figure right here, Beast Wars Air Hammer. And I mean, if you look in the show, it was basically a bird-like creature with hammerhead features that is basically, he looked just like this figure, a Fusor that didn't even appear in Beast Wars, the show proper. He showed up in the cartoon, or the, pardon me, he actually showed up in the comics And so anyway, it was so weird because I literally just got this guy not too long ago, and for them to homage that character, my mind was just like, it just blew my mind completely. I was so shocked. So maybe in 2020 we will go ahead and get a proper review of Airhammer here. He's just such an oddball, and again, it just tickled me to no end to see them like picking an obscure Fusor. Cyberverse has kind of given us quite a bit of Beast Wars love with a lot of its elements. You know, I mean, Cheetor's like a dead giveaway, but you know, Airhammer, he's kind of like a more subtle thing. Just so to see him is kind of fun. But other than that, guys, I really hope you enjoyed the reviews for this year. Really quickly, I just want to thank all of the new subscribers. You guys have been making the channel grow, and really it is because of you guys that I continue to do this, and that we are able to have that interchange of you know, encouragement about our favorite fandom. And with that, guys, I know there's going to be some changes to YouTube, and so I'm going to try to do like I did in my Apeface video, is help, you know, the content be proven that it's not for children as much as for adult collectors. But regardless of whether we are kids or adults, we all have this fandom in common. Whoa, okay, I meant common. So that was, I swear I did not mean to say what I just did. Part of the fun of being uncut here is your mouth says something that you did not intend to say. Common, not what came out there. Anyway, we all have this in common is what I'm trying to say. Guys, you can tell that I did not practice this at all. So anyway, point is, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video as the last one of this decade, and I look forward to many new videos in 2020. And until next time, guys, as always, we will see you in another review.